Hey guys, just a quick update video so that you know what's going on with the car and what we're in the middle of doing here at Audi C7 Owners. I actually got to spend about 30 minutes on the phone last night with Jose from Merc Racing talking about divorcing the supercharger loop from the engine coolant system. That's going to be the next big project we do to the car here soon. I've got his, here, we'll turn this around, I've got his divorce reservoir looking all nice and shiny and pretty. Went over to my buddy Cooper, who runs Barrel Maker Fabrication here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we got a prototype bracket set up because with Merc Racing, their bracket for the S4 does not fit on the C7. So we just developed a C7 bracket for the A7 and the A6 cars for divorce setup, and we're going to have that in production with Merc Racing here soon. But I talked to him because I wanted to make sure I had my ducks in a row when it comes to divorcing the supercharger loop. So we went through all that and talked about, you know, the flow of coolant and whatnot and how it's going to help. Another thing that we got to talking about, which is really, really cool, something that Jose did on his car that we're going to be doing on ours, is replacing, if you can see in here, I know it's kind of dark, you see these metal pipes. So this is your entry and your exit lines from your supercharger intercoolers. Those metal lines down there, they go all the way to the bottom, and one splits to the left, one splits to the right. Those are smaller diameter lines than the actual hoses. The hoses are 3/4. These, I think, are 5/8 or something like that. But they're constricted, which if you constrict those, that's a reduced amount of flow. The other thing is Jose, when he removed these and he put a coupler and replaced it with just regular 3/4 inch hosing, he found that inside of his metal tubes, they were rusted and also had some buildup on them, further restricting flow. So as you guys know, I'm still chasing an IAT issue where I've got high IATs with no plausible explanation so far, because we know everything's bled correctly. We know that his heat exchanger is working well because, you know, my ITs recover extremely fast. They just get up too high. And I was thinking maybe my intercooler cores are just worn out. But what we're going to do is we are going to divorce the supercharger loop. I'm going to remove the actual metal pipes from the engine, and we're going to put a coupler on and put 3/4 inch coolant radiator hosing, or radiator hose, and we're going to run that for the entire supercharger loop. And then we're going to also do an 80-20 ratio of distilled water to antifreeze for the supercharger loop. I think that is really going to significantly drop my IATs overall. But the other thing that we got to talking about is, you guys know I just did my PCV replacement. The one thing that I didn't do, which I definitely regret, I was just being stubborn, I didn't replace the breather tube that comes out of the top of the PCV and connects to the supercharger. It has a check valve in it. The check valve, when it fails, and it fails open, there's constant vacuum, or there's basically constant movement of air between the vacuum, or I'm sorry, between your valve cover and the PCV. And so not only is that just constantly oil getting burned through there, because I'm still losing oil. I don't have the giant blue clouds of smoke anymore because I've replaced the PCV, but I'm still burning oil relatively quickly. And that's another symptom of a failed check valve on that breather tube, is you're still burning oil. So I think that that's what's going on there. I also still have a soft code for PCV, and I know the PCV is brand new, so it's got to be that check valve. Talking with him, with that being stuck open, there's still a lot of heat coming from that valve cover and, you know, from the engine moving into the PCV, which, you know, that introduces vapors into the supercharger. So that could also be a source of my high IATs. So I'm going to basically do it all at once. I was thinking about, you know, maybe just go in there, replace that and see if that fixes it, then do this, then do this. But I've got to take the supercharger off to do that, which means I have to drain the supercharger and drain the coolant. And since I'm divorcing the system, I'm not going to put new coolant in there just to take it out immediately and then put 80-20 water in there. I'm going to do everything. I know that Jose's car, I watched him do a pull, and when he did his pull, his IATs didn't go over 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine go up to like 170, 175. And so I know that if I do all of this and I get my IATs anywhere near what he's got going on, then I've corrected my issue, and I know those were the culprits. If not, the last thing that it could possibly be are my intercooler cores. They could potentially just be a little worn out. But when we do this process, it's going to be a whole video on divorcing the system, talking about the flow of engine coolant and the flow of the supercharger coolant so that you guys can understand how it goes. I've got a diagram that I'll put up there, and we'll talk in depth about what we're doing. We'll show you how we're going to divorce this, show you guys what you need to do, and we'll talk about all this stuff because, as you guys know, heat is the Achilles heel of this engine. So that's what's coming up. You guys should see something about this within the next few weeks, hopefully. Really excited about it. Another update is we have found a guy locally who has an Audi RS7. It is a C7 RS7. It is bone stock. Well, it's not bone stock anymore because he just threw intakes on it, but he's agreed to let me do work on his RS7 so that I can have some 4-liter twin turbo content for you guys, which I'm super stoked about. I've never even got to touch a C7 RS7. So just being able to have one on the channel is awesome. You know, it's a dream car for me, and being able to do work on it and help him out and hopefully get some good content for you guys will be amazing. So hope you guys like it. If you haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notifications. Once again, head over to our Instagram page and subscribe to us there so that we can give away some test pipes for a 3-liter engine. That's at Audi C7 Owners. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Looking forward to getting some new content. This is all a box full of stuff. We still have to do our brake rotors. So that's just even more stuff. I'm gonna do videos for front and rear brake rotor replacement and brake rod replacement. And yeah, that's it. And before I go, check out this sweet picture of yours truly from high school. My wife's got jokes, decided to post that out here, but I wasn't looking. Thanks, babe. All right, see you guys soon.